welcome to On the Ride Home. I'm your host, Robert Ryan. This is my co-host, Thea. Today we're going to be watching the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. So I'm looking forward to this movie. I know it's directed by James Gunn and actually written partially by James Gunn as well. He directed the movie Super, and that was actually pretty interesting. So I'm looking forward to this one. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of good scenes in here.
And it's good to know that he's an avid comic book reader. You know, he's very, he knows his comics.
Yeah, it was actually
more than us.
Yeah, and it was co-written by another woman. I'm sorry, I forgot her name, and two other people as well that were writers for the comic books. So I'm sure this is gonna be really close to the book. So I'm really excited about that. I really hate when they do comic books and they're like all over the place. And being that it's with Marvel, Marvel has put out a lot of good superhero movies. So this one's definitely gonna be a good one. I'm actually hoping to see an 8 or 9 on this movie.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it will be good. Not, you know, I've never read the comics, you know, any of the story arcs or anything, but I think it will be an interesting. I mean, look, I really like the sci-fi fantasy part of it. What I'm looking forward to in this movie is that it's gonna have a lot of sci-fi fantasy that I've been craving, you know, for a while now. So this movie, I know it's gonna be. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be. Well written as well, so I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it will be an 8 or 9. Well, I think it'll be an 8.
Oh, hey, that's good. All right, well, we better get going. We're going to miss the movie. Okay. Let's get going. Hi, and welcome back to On the Ride Home. I'm your host, Robert Ryan. This is my lovely co-host, Thea. We just got back from watching the movie Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, it was an awesome movie, I gotta tell you. If you haven't seen it yet, you definitely want to go see this movie. Right off the bat, I just want to say that I want to give this movie a 9, maybe even 9.5. It was that good. It had a lot of action in it. The CGI was good. The story was good. The interaction between the characters and the actors, the chemistry was really good. I really liked the way that they worked together in this film. I just liked how the movie flowed. It just moved really well. The comedy in there was, you know, not over the board, and it wasn't like unnoticeable. It was kind of like, you know, paced out really well. So I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, I would give it a 9. Also because I really liked. It was just like you said, non-stop action, and it was non-stop comedy as well. But it was some of the parts may have been maybe a little cheesy, but it was really funny. It's not too much juvenile humor, I think, you know. And in terms of the way it looks fantastic. The effects, the picture quality, it was just great. So I think this may be the sci-fi fantasy movie that I've been waiting for the longest time.
Okay, so to discuss a little bit about the movie, before we go into that, I'm going to say...
There will be spoilers.
Yeah. If you do not want any of the spoilers, don't want to hear it, thank you for joining us, and hopefully you'll join us later after you watch the movie and come back and leave comments below and discuss the movie with us, and we would reply back to those comments, and we'd appreciate it. To go right into it, I want to say... What was your favorite part of the movie?
I like the raccoon. The raccoon was crazy. I forgot the name, but
Rocket.
Rocket. He was crazy. I never read the comics, so I don't know if it's close to the original character or not. So we can't really, you know, compare the comics version and the movie version. But or even the story arcs, you know, similarities, disparities, and things like that.
Right.
But Rocket, you know, my favorite scene was with all the scenes with Rocket in it, and most particularly the one where he goes, "I want that guy's eye. I need that guy's eye. No, really, I need that guy's eye." That was funny because he's trying to, you know, he's the one he's the genius that builds things together and hatches plans and things like that, and you know, he wants weird stuff just to make up his plan, but his plans go well anyway. And one of the things that it's a running joke, I guess, is that he wanted an eye. He wanted a guy's leg in his first plan, and they went through some lanes to get the leg, and ends up he was just making a joke. He was like, "Oh, I didn't really, you got the leg? I didn't even know, I didn't know that you would actually do it. It was like hilarious." And the second time it was for an eye, and it was it was crazy.
Yeah. Rocket, yeah, he's definitely the Brainiac type, and then his muscle is Groot. And unfortunately, that's the only thing that's bad. I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad, but I just thought it was kind of annoying that that's his only line in the movie is "I am Groot."
I read somewhere that he's supposed to be the genius. He's supposed to be a really, really smart being.
Oh, he probably is, but it's just weird that.
But he has only one line, which is he keeps saying "I am Groot." I am Groot
in different ways and
different emotional,
right
bases.
And Rocket understands exactly what he's saying, and he's like, "I am Groot." He's like, "No, that's not possible. We can't do that way." And he's like, "I am Groot." Okay, fine. He may be right, but and it's the interaction between those two is just funny. Mm-hmm. So Thea, what was your least favorite scene in the movie?
My least favorite scene. I don't think I have any least favorite scene of this movie, which is really rare. I really, really loved it. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it, but it was like constantly. It put me in a. I know it's the Marvel universe, but it's still fun to get to know all these characters that are new to me, at least. Well, what about you? What is your favorite scene?
Oh my goodness, my favorite scene. There's like so many good scenes in that entire movie. My favorite scene in probably the movie is that whole prison scene when they're in there and they're hatching their plan to escape. It's got the comedy in there. You really get to know the characters and a little bit more about them and what who they are as a character in that scene. That's where they kind of get together and they form that team that belong, because up to that point they're not a team. They're basically bounty hunters and smugglers and assassins, and they're just kind of thrown together in prison, and that's where they form that bond together. And it's that moment that I really like, that they create these characters that have nothing in common whatsoever other than that they're criminals, and that they were able to get together for a common goal and get out of there and make their way out.
Right. What's your least favorite scene?
My least favorite scene, it's gonna be the scene with not the collector, the guy in the movie where he goes to sell off this orb with this broker type guy.
Yeah, he's the collector.
That's not the collector.
Oh,
that's the guy who won't tell you that he's working for the collector. I really didn't like that scene. That just didn't seem like there was anything there. There wasn't anything. That actor.
Yeah, it was just
that character.
Well, it was just like 5 seconds long, so it's not like it had an impact on the movie. But I thought it was fine. I thought it's needed. It's in there to show people that this is Ronan is a guy that nobody wants to mess with. Even the black market dealer that usually would buy stuff from people wouldn't touch this precious artifact. Even though he's willing to pay a lot of money, he's like, oh no, if Ronan wants this orb, then I don't want it, and that's how that's why they had to go to the collector. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get why it's there, because they need a transition. If he won't sell it, maybe we'll go to this collector guy and sell it there. This other contact. But I mean, it's an important scene. Don't get me wrong. It's just not my favorite scene, and it's kind of hard to say because this movie was so good that there really wasn't anything in there that I disliked. Like absolutely said, oh, this scene was just absolutely stupid.
I don't know if there would be people who are looking for death, some sort of death in this kind of movie. I mean, I don't think there's any real depth to the movie. But did you feel like there
Actually,
there needs to be any depth to this movie for it to be fun?
No, actually, I felt that there was. There was a.
The mother and his mom and Quill's mom and.
Well, at the very beginning, you do get to know that story, but no, not that. I mean, there is that, and at the end, it kind of ties back to that and tells you a little bit more about him,
About his history, his
right?
mom,
But
her death,
or in his future. But I think the story itself had a really good story in it. A really good lesson where it was talking about basically coming together to help fight off this greater evil. And it's inside the entire story. So from that prison scene all the way to the very, very end where the characters have to come together in order to fight off this great evil. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was a really good lesson. And so...
And the music, I don't know, did you notice the music? The 70s music. The music was great. The soundtrack to this movie is, great.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it's well timed. And usually I don't care about soundtrack, but I think this time this movie really, the songs come in at the right, well timed,
and when he gets to that, the planet that's deserted, and he's walking through this muck and just this torn up planet, and it's just rock and dust, and he's sitting there listening to his music, rocking away and kicking away the little alien rodents that are trying to attack him.
So there's that balance of danger and levity at the same time, and I think it was well balanced. Really
good movie. If you haven't seen it yet, like I said before, definitely go see it. It's an awesome movie. You will not be disappointed, especially if you're fans of the Marvel Universe and really enjoy those movies. You will love this movie. I guarantee it.
It's a fun movie. Definitely a fun summer movie.
Go watch it. Definitely. I'm even thinking about buying the DVD. I just love this movie.
Yeah, in the very beginning opening scene of the movie is a sad scene. The mom's dying and he's having trouble trying to say goodbye. And throughout the movie, there's a sense of sadness on the main character Quill's part. He has to retain a sense of his past by having this music, mixtape volume, 1 and constantly playing on his Walkmans so that he's grounded to his past. At the same time, we're set in this sci-fi, futuristic setting, and it's just I think it's a very good contrast. So, whoever read the comics, I know very ignorant about who they are, but that they did a great job with the story. I thought it was very, very well balanced. In terms of emotional, in terms of emotions like sadness and the levity, the funniness.
So what would you say? Watch it?
I'd say watch it. Definitely go watch it in theaters.
Yeah, it's good. You'll enjoy it. All right. Well, there you have it. There's our discussion and our view on the movie. If, like I said, comment below. Join us in our discussions. Add comments. What was your favorite scene in the movie? Add it down there in the comments. What was your least favorite scene on the movie? Let us know. We'd like to hear it. And thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. You will not be disappointed, especially if you're fans of the Marvel Universe.
Excuse me, there is a message for you.
Especially if you're friends